I know you have a new fashion project coming out, a collaboration between your brand, which is called Kittenish, and Juicy Couture. So tell me how this came together and how you
Yeah.
went about putting your spin on the iconic Juicy tracksuit.
So I actually didn't own any back in the day. We could not, couldn't afford it back in the day.
They're
And so,
expensive. Yeah.
they were expensive and they were a little out of price range when I was younger, but I, of course, used to dream about them and pull out magazines and tack them to my bulletin board and think to myself, I want to be able to have one of these one day. And so it
Right.
was definitely a goal. And I just remember seeing all my favorite celebrities wearing them, and just thinking they just were so iconic. So, I do get to have one now. I own one now,
Yeah, and
and
design them. What?
yeah, it's just it's great. It's super iconic. I mean, Juicy was the early 2000s. It was, the most worn tracksuits, everything about it. And what's really interesting about Juicy is I do feel like there's so many things about the brand that relate to my brand, Kittenish. And if you walk into a Kittenish store, it is throwback to the 90s and the early 2000s. I've got Britney posters and Jennifer Aniston posters and Sex and the City movie going.
Mhm.
So it just felt like the perfect collaboration to tie in the brands from my generation and introduce the younger generation to Juicy through Kittenish. So it was just the perfect marriage.
Are there any other sort of trends from that era that you either love and look back on fondly or kind of can leave in the past? Because there were a lot in both categories for me.
Totally. I think the only trend from the 90s that we can leave in the 90s is the thin eyebrows.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am not down with that, and I never will be. I tried to do it myself, and God gave me these brows, and they just work for my face. I looked crazy. I used to over tweeze them, and then I would take yellow eyeshadow and I would pat them all on my brows because I was so insecure about how thick they were.
As any woman can attest, shopping for swimwear can be a total nightmare. So
Yeah.
I would love to know what makes you feel you're most comfortable and confident in a swimsuit and how you channeled that into the new looks that you've designed.
Our swim gets better and better, and I think that what we're doing is we're catering to our audience even more than we used to. So
Mhm.
I'm making swims that are more conservative for, women that don't want to show their butt. And I'm trying to make, my sister is the perfect person. I always call her and ask her, would you wear this? My sister and I have very different styles. She's very conservative. She likes to cover up as much as possible, and I'm on the other end where I'm like, tan me everywhere, let's show it all.
Right.
So, I'm trying my very best, and we design these swim pieces to make sure there's a little something for everyone.
Mhm.
And another thing I love about us is we have sizes from extra small to double XL, and I want to continue expanding upon that. So yeah, when it comes to swim, we're trying to just make sure everyone has something that makes them feel good and beautiful. I do like some of the stringy ones for the tanning purposes, but if I'm going to be around a ton of people and I'm not like in the pleasure of just being in my own yard, I want to have a high waisted. I've had 3 kids. I've got a massive C-section scar running across my belly. Like I just, for me in my comfort zone, I agree. I'm high waisted girl as well.
I don't know how many people know this, but your husband, Eric, is also involved in the brand, which I find super interesting. What's it like going from like life partners to business partners, so to speak? And is he purely on the business side of things, or does he ever, offer design input, make suggestions, kind of cross over to the creative side?
Yeah. So it's funny when Eric and it kind of just fell into Eric's lap. So Eric had retired from the NFL in 2018. And, Eric and I have worked together for years, just in different ways. We've worked together. We had a reality show together.
Mhm.
We've done lots of endorsements together. We've done plenty. And so I feel like there wasn't much of a shock when it fell into his lap to start working together. There was a void within my company on the business side. And he just kind of stepped in at the right moment, and he's now the president of the company. And one of the girls just asked me today if about something in the office. I was like, I don't know. Like he handles the business, I handle the creative, and
Mhm.
it works that way. And he tries to talk to me about the business side of it. I'm just like, I don't know. Like I need to focus on this blouse and making sure it looks good. So we totally have different ends of the spectrum. He does not give me his input on fashion. It's not necessary, but you know, what's great about him is he gets really excited when I'm enthusiastic about something, going, okay, this is what we should do. And he's really great at helping me execute it. So we're great business partners.
Love that. It's all about having your separate skills and just like supporting each other.
Totally. And we have our strengths on opposite end of the spectrum. So it just works.
Mm-hmm.